like to welcome you for a very special session that we are doing during DataFest Online this year. This session is called Startup Expo, as you probably saw it on the agenda. And in order to kick off this session, we have a special guest joining us to say a few words. So we have David Ichelashvili. David is a serial entrepreneur, and David is also coordinator of International Accelerator at JITA. David,
hello, hi.
I'm very happy to see you, and the virtual floor is yours.
Hi, hello, hi. I was asked to give a introductory small speech on behalf of JITA. So I'm gonna talk for a few minutes. Hello, everyone. I'm not going to talk cliche. Hayek knows me well that I don't like cliche talk. For example, that AI is strategic for countries, and whoever wins in AI will be a ruler of the world. I'm not gonna also talk that big data now is a new oil, right? Everyone knows it by now. And everyone knows that AI did for big data. It's doing for big data what combustion engine did for oil. Make it super relevant and super expensive. However, I'm still gonna break my tradition, give you a speech with cliche. And my 2 words to you would be good luck. And I'm gonna add to that, you will need it. That's what I typically do when I play a bridge and I open my hand. That means I overbid it and my partner needs very good luck to make the contract. That means a tough life for you, for founders in AI field. And why? Let me elaborate a little bit why. The reason is because the most investors and most businesses, they don't quite till today understand that early stage AI businesses are very different, fundamentally different from other software, for example, SaaS startups. The things that they look the same isn't also helping because they look the same, young tech founders, polished or unpolished pitches, unproven business models, but the economics are completely different. The attraction of software businesses, the reason you've heard about Mark Andreessen's famous software is eating the world, right? The reason why software was eating the world and still eating the world is the word that every investor wants to hear: capital efficiency. That means that typical software startup, SaaS, can build relatively inexpensively MVP and then start scaling. Start using distribution channels to sell it at a negligible variable cost. With AI, it's very different. You all very well know that there is a significant time and thus the cost required to build and train the data models. And further, you need to maintain these data models to avoid what's called data drift, right? So you need to maintain, and thus the fixed cost and variable costs also can be significant. And that makes it very difficult for AI startups to fit into the model that every investor understands, which is called lean startup methodology, right? To start with, and what are some of the elements of lean startup? For example, the one that is most difficult for AI startup is to start with a small niche, take it completely, and then move to adjacent markets. And that, you all know, that's very tough because even if the use case is very similar, to move to adjacent market might require to completely rewrite the data model. So these are bad news. The good news is there are some good news, of course, and the good news are if you are successful, though, although your chances are a little lower, then your chances of becoming a really big are significantly higher than with a regular startup, SaaS startups. Your defensibility or so-called unfair advantage is much, much easier to communicate to investors than regular SaaS startups. Because sometimes your data is defensibility, your time is defensibility. In machine learning, you know that if you spend in the industry 7-8 months, you are ahead of your competitors. And typically also another advantage, you can probably tell your grandkids that you are doing something extraordinary and exciting, unlike most of the software companies. And another local positive thing is be assured that at JITA, we understand, and most of the investors and mentors at JITA understand that the AI early stage startups are a little different from other software startups. So the support that you will be getting and the review and selection that you will be getting from JITA will be, it will take into consideration the difference of AI. So use this opportunity, apply for JITA grants, and you will be looked normally. You will have a support. That's all I wanted to say. Good luck. You will need it.
Thank you very much, David. Indeed, for a partially cliche, but to be honest, not a cliche at all, talk, very motivational. We have one more, special keynote, special, opening remarks from a very, very special Georgian startup. They are the first startup, to our knowledge, to public knowledge, which has had a foreign exit, which was acquired by a foreign investor. And that startup is presented by Sopho Mchoidze. She is the co-founder and the COO of Pulsar.AI, and she will talk about their road as a Georgia-based AI startup to their exit. Sopho, please, the floor is yours.
Hi, well, first of all, thank you for the invite. I'm glad to see so many people around this. I look forward to all the presenters that will be presenting today. And kudos to you guys. I feel like you are on the right track. And again, as David said, I would like to say good luck to you all. I'm not sure about the timing and how much time do I have, but I can just go ahead and start with, briefly describing Pulsar and, telling you guys about the milestones that we have hit. Also, like, if you have any questions, just let me know and I will try to answer them all. All right, so Pulsar was initially established in 2016, in late 2016, and we started with the Georgian market, right? So the first customer that we have acquired was TBC Bank, which is one of the biggest banks in Georgia. So we created the chatbot, which was the first financial institution-based chatbot, which was more of a lifestyle type of chatbot. It was really engaging, and initially what it did was you could, ask the currency exchange rate or transfer money to your friends and family, right? So it was it was a new channel where the bank itself started positioning itself. So it was a big hit for us. TBC Bank was one of our first customers. And then we created a lot of different products and solutions around TBC. But it was the kickstart that we had from the bank. Then we soon realized that we were basically interested in doing more than just being a chatbot developer, right? So we have gathered all the resources, all the available resources around research and development. So that is how we created different product solutions that we did. So because the Georgian market was too small compared to, let's say, US, we had to do a lot of things, right? So we had to create a lot of one-time products, a lot of solutions to our customers, and we were tailoring all of the needs based on the client requests that they had. So after that, we created chatbots for the insurance companies, telco companies, and then we migrated towards creating the remote identification solution, which as of today, the banks and other financial institutions are using. So this is basically what happened in 2017. We concentrated on the Georgian market and trying to expand our offerings to different type of industries. And then in 2018, we started thinking globally, right? So we knew that we could have like one or two more customers, but that would just not scale up. So that is when we met George Arison, who is our co-founder at Pulsar.AI Inc. And then we basically tried our grounds in the US market. So our co-founders, David and Zal, were attending the Startup Grad conference that was in the United States. Actually, we got our first grant just from JITA to purchase tickets for the States. So it was actually like one of the first supports that we got from JITA. It was that travel grant that we received. So that was when we basically got there and tried to understand the market and work around the problems that the customers have been facing. So in 2018, we in search of finding problems around Shift. So George Arison is the co-founder and CEO at Shift. So we had a chance to work with them and trying to find the missing gaps that we were able to fill out. And this is where the idea came from. So Shift was receiving a lot of traffic, a lot of internet traffic that their sales reps and their customer service managers were not able to respond on time, and they were losing a lot of potential prospects and a lot of customers. So that is why we started thinking of how can we implement the solutions and the products that we've built in Georgia and try to modify to the US market. And that is how the product came to mind, right? So we started focusing on engaging the customers and bringing them to the showroom, to the store, to the dealership 24/7. So the Pulsar.AI Inc. and the product that we're currently selling in the US market basically does that. We engage with the customers. We answer all the questions that the customer has exhaustively and try to bring them to the store. We follow up with each and every customer and try to get that engagement from the customer that the dealership would not be able to handle. So in 2019, we started selling that product. Before that, we hit another milestone in Georgia. We have raised most amount of money from the US and Georgian investors, $1.2 million. And we basically, that fund was towards bringing the product to go live and supporting the operational costs that we had in Georgia and in the US. So in the US, we hired sales executives, and in Georgia, we still have technical team and operations team who supports the product and the customers. In 2019, we started selling those products to the dealerships with the help of our sales executives. And we were doing great. The growth rate was good. We had around 30 customers until SpinCar showed up. So one of our mutual customers actually endorsed the product to SpinCar, and they actually submitted a demo. They were interested in the product. And our sales executives reached out to Michael Quigley, who submitted a demo. He is the co-founder and chief strategy officer at SpinCar. And we gave them a demo, and they were very excited because it's not a product that they have seen before, and the competitors that have been doing that, it was very broad, and it did not answer questions at all. It was just engaging the customer with the with the automated responses, right? So our competitive advantage got us to the point that we are now. And first, when we started working with SpinCar, we actually did the reseller agreement, right? So they helped us, so they brought the dealerships, they brought the customers, and on our end, we were onboarding them within 14 days. So initially, I believe like we onboarded 20 of their customers, and the feedback that we received through SpinCar was amazing. They loved the product. They have never seen that before. They felt like it was an extension to what they have been currently selling, and it actually accelerated the sales ROI drastically. So then we started talking with them. I mean, they actually started talking to us with a potential acquisition. They offered to acquire Pulsar.AI because for them it was like the simplest product to sell that they have been selling before, and the feedback that they got from their customers was something that they have not seen before, and they loved it. So they wanted to be involved in all of that from head to toe. So when they initially started the negotiation and proposal, I mean, 4 or 5 months after that, we got acquired by SpinCar. So it was one of the major milestones that we have hit, and not only for Pulsar and its team, but the country itself, right? So it was another milestone. The technology startup has not been acquired in Georgia, so it was one of the first milestones that we have hit for Georgia. And I do honestly believe that there are more startups to come with that milestone to hit. So I honestly feel like it is a great way to success. So our mission was to from day one was to have that exit, right? So not for every startup, the path is the same, but we knew that we would either do like Series A, or we would, got acquired by the bigger company that we have been investigating. So it was a really big moment. To be completely honest, we have not been anticipating to do that deal. Because like we have been operating in these states like less than 2 years. So having that success on our shoulders is something that we are really proud of, not only for us and the team, but the country itself.
Thank you so much, Sopo. I will ask Irakli. She is the founder of an AI startup called Calen.AI to actually present.
So, it's my first time presenting my startup. So in general, Calen.AI is an appointment marketing assistant that helps to convert human-like conversations into appointments with machine speed, predictability, and scalability. So we have kind of different use cases. We use all the conversational channels like Messenger, SMS, and the voice as well. For example, recently we have developed an appointment assistant for Google Assistant. So if you'd like, you can try, and you can even sign up for it if you want to do that. Which of you actually uses Google Assistant? Can you raise your hand so I can see if any one of you actually use Google Assistant? So I'll just, nobody uses, right? Okay, Michael Lomidze, one. Okay, so I urge you guys, so what you can do is say, okay, Google, ask Appointment Scheduler to sign up. Appointment Scheduler is the name of our assistant. It's powered by Calen.AI. So you can sign up and you can customize it. You have to kind of fill out the form, and you will have your own appointment assistant connected to Google Assistant. So what will happen is that anybody who has a Google Assistant can book an appointment with you without having your phone number, without the calendar link, or even he will not need to touch his device, because he can do it over the voice by saying, okay, Google, ask appointment scheduler about your name. So what we are doing, so we actually work with a couple of dealerships in the US as well. So, and what we are doing is we have a phone assistant for the dealership. So when someone calls, it can answer all the questions, as Sopa said. So because they ask questions about, let's say, about trading. Okay, so I want to change my Hyundai Elantra 2013 Elantra for Dodge Charger, something like this, a question like that. And then actually what our appointment assistant will do, it will answer the question like, okay, we can do it. We can provide like a like a 5K plus overbook value for your car if you bring it to our dealership. So the idea is the similar idea, like, you know, bring the customer to the dealership, but it's not easy. I mean, in terms of, because they don't want to waste their time. So they have bad credit. So they have lots of questions. So you probably know that, right? So, and what we are doing, we work with different companies. We also work with the car detailing companies. So our appointment marketing assistant works for appointment-based businesses to convert more customers in real time, to convert conversations in real time into the appointments. So that's our specialization. And at the moment, we are at the stage. And by the way, we don't have developers. We are completely no code. We use Integromat and we use Dialogflow for NLP, for natural language processor, and we use Integromat to have fulfillment, to have a custom logic. Instead of code, we use no-code platform. So it makes our product really, I mean, affordable for businesses, because actually we work with agencies. So for example, we have one agency that works with several customers. They support like dealerships. What they do is they run Facebook ad campaign so that they drive traffic to Messenger, and then they need to respond. Imagine 1,000 requests from the users in Messenger every day. So they had 20 people on the payroll to actually be able to somehow process that amount of requests. So we were able to automate it within 3 months, and to like 75% of requests were processed automatically. So, and it has changed everything. So, and what we are looking for now is I think we need more marketing, more budget, to actually promote ourselves, because we found the customer in the US by just, you know, running Facebook ads. So we used to use Facebook ads, but it doesn't look like to be a very sustainable model, because Facebook is very unpredictable. So, and we have found another way. So we need more budget to actually promote our services to the US customers, and, you know, kind of work with different kind of appointment-based businesses that are, because they are not, the main challenge is that there are two types of customers that we see. The first ones is that they don't believe in chatbots, because they have tried chatbots and they say, no, they don't work. They can't understand what the user is saying. Automation level is below 10%. It doesn't make sense. So, and this is the most problem that we have. And the second is that we need to find people, innovative customers who are ready to try some new tool. And it's not easy, you know, to find this type of people. That's why we need more budget for marketing. So yeah, that's generally it. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thanks, Irak. I promise we will get back to conversational technologies a bit later on with Regina. But before we do that, I'd like to give the stage to two speakers, actually. So one is Georgi Chugoshvili. I think Georgi is online. Georgi, I cannot see you. And yes, Chugo is here. Hey, Chugo. He is the co-founder of Phubber, which is a fast-growing Georgian e-commerce platform. And their partner, which is Maxine.AI, which is presented by Soso Joseph, who will talk how they worked on the AI part of this project. I suggest we start with Georgi, please.
Hello everyone, I'm Georgi Chugoshvili, everybody calls me Chugo. I'm co-founder of Phubber. Phubber is a digital marketplace for apparel, for clothes, shoes and accessories. Me and my partner Anano Dolaverdi started the company 2 years ago, and today we are the largest online fashion retailer in the country. We have the largest catalog with the kind of value of listed items above 8 million US dollars. And we started all this with 15,000 US dollars of our pocket money. Currently, we have 150,000 plus active listings, and the total number of listings in our catalog was around under 1 million. That's a 500,000 items. The thing that distinguishes us from other players and all standard e-commerce is that we always say that we are on the crossroads of three very important and fast trends. The first trend is switch to online, and that is very obvious, of course. The second trend is switch to social shopping, which is also a recent trend and is a very, very strong trend in especially in India and in China and currently in the United States as well. And we are trying to bring that in our part of the world. And the third trend, which is also a very strong one, is a switch to resale. So taking into consideration all the environmental issues that fast fashion brings in recent years to the world. More and more people realize that there is a need to do something, to change something, and the resale and rental and circular fashion is something that is a very strong tool against producing more new clothes and polluting our planet even significantly. As you know, the fashion industry is number two in pollution after the oil industry, and that's all is because of the very intensive production. And for example, if you buy one pair of jeans, it is around 7 tons of water that is needed to produce one pair of jeans. And so we try to bring some change in people's mind to tell them that buying new stuff and buying one additional thing that you really don't need brings a lot of harm to the environment, and it's better. We are trying to also motivate new generation of customers to think secondhand first, and that's what we are trying to do, starting in Georgia, and now we're expanding in the Ukraine. We also believe that stealing is bad, and we also believe that intellectual property and the copyrights and those that the brands have needs to be protected. And in this part of the world, it is not really kind of appreciated, and people make a lot of fakes. People sell a lot of fakes, and there's no legislation against it. So we said that we are a responsible platform, and on Phubber it's not allowed to sell fake items. So we currently, before we have a technology, we check every single item that is sold on the platform. It comes to our in our facility. We check it, we authenticate it, we package it and deliver to the buyer once it's proved that it's authentic, and give the buyers the first-hand experience on a second-hand purchase. So this is mainly what we are doing. As for the so we are trying to switching to AI more and more. We started with classifying images. and their attributes. To do some similarity image searches. Just also will speak about the details of the project that we did in details in several minutes. But we want to make for people very easy to use Phubber. We want them to, for example, if they saw some good shoes or sneakers on their friends and they want to buy something like that, they can just take a picture and search in Phubber's database. If they want to have a product with what they really want to know, but do not know how to filter the e-commerce catalog, they can just give us the text, and then we will give them the product, etc., etc. We are going towards personalization, like the Instagram does, because we are on a social shopping platform. So by the end, second half of the presentation, by the end, we will just give you the insights, what we are planning to do on the AI side. But now I will give the word to Soso, who will speak more about what we have already implemented and did together jointly.
You see my screen, right?
Yes, I see.
Yeah. So, yeah, this part will be more technical, I would say. I will explain what we are going to do using AI. And as Georgi mentioned, they are hosting more than 150,000 items in their catalog and even more images of that items. And that was a good start for us to having those data, that data and those images. And the first step we did was automatic image classification, classifying them using color, category, subcategory, type, and gender. So when a user uploads the image, the system already knows what is image about. And that was one of the things we did as a first step with Phubber. I mean, Maxine.AI and Phubber together. And another part we are working currently is image similarity search. For example, you upload the image and then you see similar products, or you open a product and below you see very similar products. I mean, visually similar, not similar with their description and etc. They are similar with visually similar. And this is a very nice feature to have, I think, in case of e-commerce. And yet another feature we are working currently is advanced search. So you can search images not using their metadata, like their category or description text, but what is written on a cloth, what is written on a dress, for example, or what is drawn there. So I will share my other screen. So you see when someone writes there, for example, heart shirt, it displays all the shirts with a heart, and this information is not inside the text of that products, but our AI is able to kind of identify that words and search those images only using the image content, not the textual content. And same applies to brands, for example, different logos, etc. For example, I love you shirt, and you will see all the clauses which have I love you text or the sign on them. Yeah. So leaf, and you see all the dresses with leaves or similar texture. And then you can kind of write love shoes, love shoe, and you see either heart or the word love there. And this is done using only images, for example, which is quite interesting and yet thing under development yet. I will share back my presentation. And our next plans are quite big, and we have big plans because data is very interesting, and data is going to become huge because, of course, Phubber has bigger plans, and we have different things to implement in future. I think Georgi will describe the steps in more detail.
Yeah. So guys and girls in Maxine, it's a joint team, joint team of girls and boys, amazing people. They are doing an amazing job. I want to emphasize that this company is not Georgian company, I would say, because it works absolutely with the European US standards. I don't know. These guys are amazing, and that's why how we were able to kind of make this synergy happen. Yeah, what we are doing, what we want to do in the future together. So we want to create a huge catalog of brands, models, and every single item, fashion item, and start to generating the historical data of this. Because, for example, if you want to go to the catalog of Chanel, you go and you just see the new items. Yeah, all the old items are being kind of hidden, and you cannot see them as anymore. Yeah, and you need those comparisons to make authenticity check by AI. So first we will create together a huge catalog of all items of major brands that we are working on our platform. We will also then try to do authenticity checks through the AI. So this is the long-term vision of Faber and Maxine together to create a technology that will say whether the item is authentic or fake. Because currently Faber is going to Ukraine, which is 40 million market, then we are going to planning to go to other even larger markets, maybe Russia, Turkey, huge markets where it is not able to scale. Uh, those quantities of transactions through a human labor for checking, but we want always Faber to be the platform that is very responsible and tries to eliminate the fake products from the marketplace, because it becomes if, fakes and frauds are becoming a huge problem for the marketplaces. And also what we want to do, we understand that we have very different segments of people coming to in Faber. Some people are looking for Zara. Some people are looking for Adidas, Nike. Some people for Louis Vuitton and other luxury brands. So it's a different people. So you cannot create a one catalog that fits them all. One kind of, I don't know, one bundles, one sorting, one grouping that fits them all. Yeah, you have to be personalized. That's where we are going. We are personalizing our experience currently. Our We have two main parts in the application, which is well, its first is like social network features. The first is feed, where you can see all the items of the people you follow or the brands you follow. In the new version of the application, all hashtags that you follow. Yeah, and it's personalized under you. But the search part, which is explore part, it's standard. You have to go in as an ordinary e-commerce store, and you have to filter with some filtering options, and then you find the things. But it's I think all the old days of the e-commerce. So now we have a lot of data, what people like, what they say, what they buy, what they comment on, what they click, and etc. Save for later, etc. All this data can be transformed into the knowledge that makes a person comfortable to be in the application, and brings all those items on the front line, which is interesting for that specific user and Faber, and not the other ones from those 150,000 items that are available. And tomorrow that's going to be million items and 2 million items, and we don't want to bother our customers with the things that they don't need and that they don't like. Yeah, so also, we will have some projects together on the operational side, because, for example, when an item comes to our office, we usually our customers ask us to measure it and give them the pictures and the sizes, etc. That could be automatically done by Maxine's help. And some item detection topics, when the specific item will come to the office, to have that automatically checked in the order management that it came to the warehouse, etc., etc. So, and also they have very good experience with both body and foot size prediction. That could be also a very good service that we could provide to our customers. So what we plan to do is become more efficient and technology driven on the authentication and quality control side, and also on the operational side. And one of the biggest problems also, which is sizes. We also want to solve that problem as well on the e-commerce, because that is one of the main reasons why people kind of hesitate while buying an item. So that's very shortly about our cooperation, but we are very happy to find these people and doing these amazing things together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Hugo. Thank you, Soso. We all, are keeping our fingers crossed for you to succeed and to become, e-commerce giant. And of course, wishing you success with your expansion to Ukraine and other markets. And speaking of Ukraine, our next speaker, our next presenter is Regina Bondarenko from Ukraine. She has her AI startup called Pravoman. It's, if I'm not mistaken, again conversational. Again, is connected with NLP. Regina, please, the floor is yours.
Hi everyone again. I'm CEO of Pravoman. Also, I'm a lawyer and a lawyer engineer. It means that I make legal process a little bit more digital, more smart, and I think effective. I tried to demonstrate my. Do you see my screen? Yeah. Yeah, cool. So today we will talk about Pravoman. Pravoman literally will be translated like right man or lawman, and it's our digital lawyer which give you support all day, all night. So the first one, I want to tell you more about our team. So our co-founders, it's team like between IT and law. My CTO have 12 years of development, and I'm lawyer, as I say, and also legal engineer. Except Pravoman, we have also another project, for example, in year service area, where you can register for your line to get your passport. And also, for example, monitoring Phubber trips or other projects. But today we talk about Pravoman. Pravoman, it's smart digital lawyer. It's total digital lawyer who can answer for you almost any question. We have chatbots, app, and web version. So I will tell you more about how we create it. So Pravoman, it's AI system which automatizes legal advice and as a result gives totally digital advice, create documents, and also give you information. So today we automatize with this system more than 300 topics. Also, we're ready to create totally ready for signature 40 legal documents, and also we launch 5 white labels for organization in Ukraine. Also, as I say, we launch 6 platforms. It's which are both the most popular Telegram, Viber, and also Facebook. Also, we launch 2 apps and web chat on websites. So how works our AI? Our AI system is like a filter. I think it's like something like a small human which analyzes the requests. So it's like filter for us. First of all, you give me like the question, what you want. And our AI system analyzes what the topic is more similar for your question. So it separates your sentences and try to understand what the keywords included in the sentences, and that's why he decided what the topics is more similar. After that, he confirming the question. It means that we confirm that we understand your request well, and that's why we can also give you a next steps in this flow. So when we confirm the question, after that we give the advice, because we must understand that we totally write the first like separate the topics. The second, we also understand the keywords like key options and conditions about this topic, because we work with legal advising. That's why we must be so individual, and also that's why we must understand the all aspects of your question. So how does it work? Like how we create this AI system? In the result of our discussions, we understand that we need like small junior lawyer who will be, first of all, ask the questions, the second, separate topics, and he become like algorithmic analyzer. This is why we create the first like marks, the points which the most important for all topics which we want to automatize. For example, if we talk about agreement, what the sides of this agreement? It will be like business to business, or for example, business to government, or to customer. So the next one will be like what the price of this agreement, and we follow the questions, follow the topics, and collect the marks. After that, we decided that he must give you answers. So we create the algorithms of giving advising. That's why lawyer, you need, if you automatize some specific topic, you need expert in this topic. Because I'm lawyer, I understand what the algorithm of analyzing the legal topics, and we create like chains of questions, of answers, and create like algorithm. After that, we understand that our AI system must training on something, so we need a structure for it, and that's why we create mind map. After that, after the training of our AI system, we in the result get totally individual advisor helper who, if you train it well, can give you individual right answer. So I want to add that not from first steps we was like total individual product. So we also have stage of MVP, also trying to do something more interesting, because we start from basic chatbot. It was like question answer without any algorithmic systems. But in the end, we understand the first of all, it's like too small solution. We need the more interesting, more, I think, with more interesting features like understanding. This is why we start to understand that we must have own platform where I can, for example, create new algorithms and new also ifs questions and something like that. But the first one, I think, if you want to try something, you can use also, for example, local program, and you can use Node-RED to understand how algorithms works and start your developing from this step. Next one, after analyzing the topics, after making research, we understand that it will be more simple, more easier for our customers to get some understanding from their words, not by our flow, but from their side, how they explain their equations. And that's why we start to understand that we need also NLP features and we need text mining. But also we don't start from our own production product. I think it will be more correct. So at first we also use, for example, with AI. But in one step, we understand that our questions is we need more, and that's why we start to reprogram our product. But also, as I say, you every time can try something with other instrument. If it works, you can also try to make something bigger. And if you try MVP and after that understand it, yes, it's work, you can go to your investor, to, for example, grants program, and go with the product, not with only words. In the result of our way, I think we also get not only product Pravoman, because we understand that IE solutions is, I think, too small for one country. Because when you create IE system which analyze the one country problem, for example, for me it's lawyer area, I think, to be more right. So legal consultation, for example, you understand that you can be expert in law, for example, Danish or Germany in Germany, and that's why you understand that you must have a product which can work without context, and that's why we create white label service, because today we know how must looks flow. Also, we understand how must work generation document, generation consultation, giving advice, and how to create really universal helper. So, like quintessence of our work, we create white label service. If you want to tell me something more, or maybe ask me something also after this event, feel free to contact us. All my contacts you see on screen, QR code for our also site. So let me know if you have some interesting questions. And the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Regina. At last and not least, we have one more Georgian AI startup who will be presenting their startup, their technology. Lasha Mirzadashvili from Wavetech. Lasha, please tell us a bit more what awesome things you are doing at Wavetech.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, thank you for your invitation. I'm from Wavetech team, and today I'll talk about our role in speech services. Speech services includes technologies like text-to-speech, speech-to-text, voice recognition, phone verification, and many more. They are widely used today. They are widely used in every service area almost, both in private sector and government health public services like banking, public transport, and on my point, most important to become digital services more accessible for excluded people and give benefits to non-excluded people too. Now about us. 12 years of experience in tech field and several successful projects in voice tech and face biometric gave us motivation to reinvention speech services. For the first step, we take text-to-speech as a challenge, and after some research, we discovered following issues with TTS industry. First was a lack of quality, best human-like pronouns, then followed by expressiveness, then non-user-friendly environment. On average, it takes 3 platforms for our competitors' cases to complete one solution in speech services, and low resource language support. They don't have low resource language supports like Georgian, like Azerbaijani, like Armenian. There was to the text-to-speech global market value was $1 billion in 2017, and it will be grow far as $3.5 billion in 22. So what we do for these solutions, we make multiple integrations and make user and environment. So we have browser extensions like Google Chrome extensions. I mean, text-to-speech. You can select your text anywhere in any website and generate audio from it. We have about 4 mainstream browsers supported. Then we make Word, Microsoft Office Word add-in to generate audios for legal documents and your papers for the busy work. We also made Google Docs add-on. Also made WordPress integration plugin. You can generate your blogs, audios, and also Wix add-in we are working now, and the packages, custom packages like NPM and CDNGS for custom adjustments. So our competitive analysis results was that we achieved our goal to overcome our competitor solutions like price, integration, and user-friendly environment, human-like pronouns, and processing speed also. And final, there is our short roadmap. We had successful iteration of researches. Then we create proprietary Wavetech built on our own engine. Then we found Wavetech. We got 2 rounds of investment, one from NVIDIA Perks and second from private investor whose I can't name, unfortunately, whose name. Then recently we started working on speech text with our own and have great successes in it, and waiting for 3rd round of investment to make it incredible. For now, we have user-friendly platform that you can check on Wavetech.AI. 3 speakers with human-like pronouns, 2 males and 2 females, Adam, Aria, Peter, and Feya. And we have plans to evolve more. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, Lasha, and thanks for sticking to the time and keeping it short. So thanks, everyone. I genuinely wish all of you good luck, and let's continue this conversation in Slack. Thank you.